Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. Now, if you grew up in the 80s like myself, one of your fondest memories was probably having your G.I. Joe and your Transformers battle it out and then being able to read about it in comic books. So at San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro put out tons of exclusives. One of those coolest ones commemorates that. They've done it for a couple of years now. This one has Powerglide, Soundwave, Scarlett and Zartan in this really cool box. It's absolutely huge. You can see me holding it up. You can check out the back. Really popular item. It's got the cool comic cover on top. We're going to go actually open this up and show off what's inside. As I said, Hasbro hooked us up, and you possibly could be able to get this now on their website. There's a link below this video. They're selling their San Diego exclusives online, what they have left, but of course, you know, supplies will be limited. As I said, this is a massive box commemorating things. One of the figures that I loved growing up was Powerglide as a Transformer. It was one of my favorite ones. I don't know why. Powerglide, Beachcomber was some of my favorite Transformers, and we kind of get a nice version of him here with this cool figure. Now it comes multi-parts, so just like the old school figures, you will have to put him together. But to show you off, I mean, it is exactly kind of like what I remember of my old G.I. Joe figures. So excited to have this in my hands. Very cool and pretty awesome. This is one of the toys that I never had growing up, was this G.I. Joe plane, so to be able to get one as an adult makes me very happy. Now, Soundwave was a cassette recorder, but here he is a Hiss tank. Again, you're going to need to assemble him. Comes in a whole bunch of parts. Whoops. Of course, we've got weapons here to show off. We got the tank. All kinds of parts for the plane and the tank itself. This is really cool. His tank, I don't believe, is one I had either, so to be able to get that, and of course we have the canopy, makes me a very happy child. Just like any good G.I. Joe and Transformer stuff, we're going to show off Zartan and Scarlett in a second. But on top of the decals to put on stuff, you get cool cards like this with Scarlett, her info on there. Nice little detail to show things off. There's, of course, assembly. Let's see what else we got. We got Zartan's info. A cool card. And then we've got Powerglide. And finally, Soundwave. I don't remember in the comics Soundwave ever being a Hiss tank, but if I'm wrong, please correct me and tell me, point me out the right comic that happened in. But of course, we get the figures themselves. I mean, I have this nice collection of G.I. Joe figures. This one's a little bit better than I had growing up. We've got Scarlett. One thing that is already that I've noticed is really impressed is how much articulation there is. Her wrist actually twists. Now, I remember my G.I. Joe figures having Kung Fu grip, but I don't remember the wrist actually being able to move. Of course, there's articulation at the elbows, and you can kind of twist them around. So these figures have come a long way since when I grew up. And then we've got Zartan. I believe there was something kind of cool with him. Of course, we have all the weapons. I don't know if it's something that's going to be easily found in here. So Zartan, they also have it so that he's got, it looks like, various masks that he can put on. Oh, here we go. We're going to definitely open this one up. So Zartan kind of reminds me a lot of his classic figure, but something that the old figure didn't do that the new one is able to let's pop on some various faces. So he comes with some heads you can replace him with, it looks like. We've got that. Well, it's not going to focus. It's going to be way easier to just show you on the actual box itself. You can see we got 3 little heads that you can pop in and out to get them a little bit different, to give you an idea what everything looks like. This is his tank. And then we've got Powerglide, who looks a hell of a lot like Powerglide as an Autobot. This is really impressive. I mean, definitely it reminds me a lot of the G.I. Joe figures when I was a kid. It's got that massive feel to it. It's a huge box with tons of stuff in there. Whether or not you're an adult, collector, or a kid getting to play with some G.I. Joe and Transformers for the first time, I imagine that you're not going to be disappointed with this one. It definitely, you get your bang for your buck. His tank, my favorite. Powerglide, the plane. It's a figure I've always wanted. You know, massive figures, really cool. You get to put them all together, which is pretty neat, and go and play out the battles, and of course recreate some famous scenes. Thank you so much for hooking us up, Hasbro. I'm going to go and play with these a whole bunch, maybe put them together and get some photos taken. You can go and, of course, get your own, hopefully, if they're still in stock, at the link below. You can catch us every single day at graphicpolicy.com or on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. As always, thank you for watching, and yo, Joe.